The Something Else Podcast.
Welcome back to the Something Else Podcast. And for the first time in a long time, we are joined by Sam.
Hello. It's been a long time.
A very long time. In the time she's not been here, we've been making babies.
Yeah.
I mean, one's in the oven.
Yes.
She's kicking the living crap out of you right now.
She certainly is. We're having a girl, by the way.
We're having a girl. Her name is going to be Girl. Because it's easy. So, yeah. So, this episode, it's kind of not a surprise, because you kind of know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But I thought it'd be cool to kind of get your views on this, because let me give everyone listening and everyone watching on YouTube, even though you're generally listening to it, because there's no video. But basically, me and Ted had to isolate for a while because we had to do lateral flows and all that crap. And then I busted out the big guns because after a while he's going to get bored of his toys, right?
Yeah.
So I brought out the old Scalextrics, like the slot cars.
Yeah.
Now, Sam brought it me, last year or something like that? It was the Anki Overdrive,
Oh, yeah.
which is essentially the same thing, Scalextrics, except you're not in like the slot area. It's all digital, it's AI. But it's currently been taken over by something called Digital Dream Labs now.
It blows my mind how it works. It really does.
Well, I'll give the listeners, the viewers, whatever you want to be called, the people of the mass sapiens, because Something Else Podcast is Sep. Ha. Anyway, so basically, Anki Overdrive, it's literally, you control the cars via your phone. I mean, you can YouTube it essentially, but all it is literally, the car's got a computer in it. It's got like a digital track where it reads it, and underneath the car there's a laser that reads the track. So you can set the track up anyhow you want because it's all magnets, so you can do pretty much anything, jumps, you name it. And the cars, before you race, you have to scan the track, so it knows what it's doing.
On its own.
On its own, so you don't do anything, and then it comes up on your screen on your phone to say this is what your track looks like, and then you hit go, and then you can drive, and you can steer. Kind of.
Yeah.
You can go left and right to switch lanes. But you can do attacks like... The best way to put it, it's like playing Carmageddon, but in real life.
Mm.
If you've ever played Carmageddon, you guys are awesome. But essentially, that's what it was, and Ted loves it.
Yeah.
He likes to physically push the cars because he's obsessed with cars anyway and trains, so he likes watching wheels go round. So we brought that out, he loved it, but then because it's been taken over by another company... they released a new app to make it better, which it did.
Yeah.
Though it took me ages to get it working. But they've actually...
Days worth of
it took me a whole day.
agonising... I don't know, it was just mad.
It was terrible is what it was.
Yeah.
But essentially... I don't know why I keep saying essentially, but they've stopped support for the app.
Yeah.
Because I think they're just going to take it down, really. So we brought that one out. Then I brought the... I'm just going to say slot car because I don't have Scalextrics because that's a brand.
Yeah.
But I've got one that Mom and Dad brought me, and it's got a Mercedes and a Nissan. Sorry, it's some form of race cars in there, and that's pretty cool. But you can't max the speed because there's no real straights on it.
Yeah.
Whereas I've got I think it's a Go Carrera one, which is the F1 slot car. It's got a friggin' loop on it. When do you see Lewis Hamilton going around a hoop? A loop, even?
That is when I would watch the F1. I would be amazed if they did a loop-de-loop round the F1
that
cars.
would be pretty badass, to be fair. But me and Ted had quite a lot of fun playing them, which leads me to this topic. What is it you did as a child that's fine to do as an adult? Because it's not like you can go and suckle on your mummy's boobie in public, can you? Because... adults, that's wrong. And if you do that, maybe you need to seek medical advice because your immune system's shot. So I brought some stuff down. So naturally, slot car racing, I would say that's fine because we watched that. Is it Hornby?
Yeah, the Hornby model documentary thing that's on. I think it's yesterday at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure what channel it's on, but it's if you know what Hornby is, they make like model trains, cars, aeroplanes, motorized ones. Excuse me, and there's a niche market of people.
Yeah.
Like you can generally say, yeah, they do Scalextrics or slot cars. Yes, they paint trains
Mm.
because they've all got this quirkiness to them. And I think what brings me to it really is, as a kid, it's entertaining. It's fun to play with these cars and to look at the models and everything. But then when you're an adult, it becomes so much more different.
It becomes passion, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Rather than not pleasure, but because it's obviously still a pleasure to them. But it's a hobby that just
Well,
takes over. I suppose.
Because I was playing with Ted, and straight away I'm like, I want a new car.
Yeah.
Like that childness of me was like, I can do better. So I downloaded this slot car timer thing, so you can time your laps. And I was like, I can do it better. I can do it faster. And I was like, maybe I need a new car. That's what it is. And then I didn't realise the amount of differences there are. Like, I knew there was different scales,
Yeah.
you know, like tiny,
Yeah.
big. But then I was watching this guy on YouTube, and it was an English YouTube channel. So I was like, okay, we're in kind of my territory. I understand what he's saying. And it was funny because he had all these bloody sets, because generally you buy it in sets, like get the F1 track set,
Yeah.
or get the Fast and Furious. But the funny part is I didn't realise how expensive they were for a start, and he was just doing the Go Carrera one, so I would say that's the rival
Yeah.
of Scalextrics. And the funny part was, he was like, this is like a basic one. This is for children. I'm like, it's a toy?
Mm.
Aren't all toys for children? And he was like, it's about 120 quid. I was like,
No, they're not awful.
well, that's a bit expensive considering this bloody overdrive, all digital, bloody futuristic one's, what, 60 quid as a starter kit
Yeah.
or something. And then he was like, but he started getting into the big boy realms. Like, it's no longer these teeny tiny cars. It's like a car you could fit a hamster in, you know what I mean? Big cars. And he was like, this one goes for about 600 quid. And you're like, whoa.
For £600, I'd want the hamster to fit in it.
For 600 quid, I want to sit on it and not, like, crush it.
You know, the mad thing about it, my first car cost me £550.
But that was a lovely car.
My little Fiesta cost me that
The one
much.
that cut out in cold days when you're turning corners.
the Fiesta that I had to sell because it never worked again.
Yeah. Oh, what went wrong with that?
We left it in. We could put a new one, and it got left in the garage, and it just didn't work. Did it? The batteries had died.
The battery went.
Something
didn't-
else had
Oh,
gone.
the locks went. Basically, everything died on it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that got me to the whole Scalextrics thing, like slot cars. I think it's perfectly fine to do it. You might get called a nerd, or you might get called names for it because it's not a nerdy thing, but it's something that predominantly men.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that every man generally. I'm generalising here, but every man thinks, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But they're too
They were-
embarrassed to admit it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was showing yourself that video of I don't know where it was. Again, it was England, but they had like this 24-hour Le Mans bloody.
Race.
Is it Le Mans or Le Mans?
The
Either way,
Mons.
they did that 24-hour race, but it was Scalextrics. It was
mad.
they rented out a hall, and it was brilliant because you had like the pit stop and everything. And it's just these dudes sitting down with screwdrivers and like batteries. Brilliant.
Brilliant. The thing is, you can say that to any hobby thing that you're a nerd because you like that. But at
Definitely.
at the end of the day, if it's something that you really enjoy, then go ahead and do it. If you want to do
But
a 24-hour race, you do that.
Yeah, but then if you look at how much money they invest,
Oh,
like
God.
I said, I say a basic. One of their more advanced slot car kits was like 600 quid. That included track, 2 cars, remote.
Yeah.
But then if you look at, like, I really, I mean, I get this off Dad, where I just go full head into something.
Yeah.
And I was looking at what they do, and like, no, they're fine tuning. They're literally doing what I don't want to say professional race cars
Yeah.
drivers do, because that's kind of what they're doing
Yeah.
in a very smaller version. But I just thought it was brilliant.
Just on the topic of the expense of these things, my stepdad is got a train track, and Teddy's absolutely obsessed with it. So obviously, my stepdad has become obsessed with it again, and he's got it out and whatever. And for Christmas, on his Christmas list, he has put down these. I think it's an engine part, and it costs. I think it was about 20 quid for this tiny little motor thing, and I was like, what is
But the
it?
best part is to put it into, again, perspective of like child versus adult. A lot of the trains Ted has, like Thomas
Yeah, I was
trains,
gonna
Thomas
say
the Tank, but it's
Thomas.
literally you put a size C battery and 1.5 volts, flicker switch, and off it goes.
Yeah.
The one Dave has
Oh, it's connected to
the
the mind.
track is electrified,
Mhm.
essentially. You've got a potentiometer
It's
and then a
mad.
reverse switch and everything. Honestly, if he's not sitting there tomorrow with a train hat on and his overalls, I'll be disappointed.
That's for Christmas, I think.
Yeah. But moving on, it's like, again, stuff that I thought, because I don't know if it's me, but like as time's got on, even from when we were kids, like I would say our generation was, when we was children, you were still a child.
Yeah.
Where now, maybe it's the advancements in technology and the fact that the media corrupts everything. It's no longer childish, so like something daft. And I'm going to put this down to TikTok, but I see a lot of skateboarders, predominantly our age, maybe older,
Yeah.
rollerbladers, which I just disagree with. They should never have been made. But Heelys, I like me some Heelys. Because I remember as a joke, Mum and Dad went to a Morrison's of all places, and they picked me up these bloody boots. Bear in mind, I'm 6'2",
Yeah.
right? They picked me these boots up that had 2 buttons on the side of the inside of your shoe.
Yeah.
If you press them, a wheel popped out of the like underneath like the balls of your feet,
Yeah.
and wheels popped out on the heel. So you had these roller skates. The problem was I'm 6'2", and the shoes were about 4 inches high.
Were they bright pink and everything?
But this is the era where bootcut jeans were like
Oh,
the
God.
thing. So like college days. So like
You got your flares on.
yeah, that's why I turned them into fucking shorts. So I've got these moon boots. I remember. Have you ever been down the shops by where Mum lives?
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and paint this as clear as I can. Where I used to live, there's a little shopping centre. And when you get to the bottom of the shopping centre, you're greeted by Aldi. It's depressing, it's nasty, and it's full of tramps. But to get to the next, like carrying up the road, up the path, it's actually a hill. It's like
Yeah.
a slight incline. Now imagine this, a 6'2" bloke in 4-inch heels, essentially, in his bootcut jeans, with his mum, who's what, 5'4", 5'6"?
Yeah.
So I'm clearly like a foot taller than her now. And you accidentally click one of the wheels, and you go back down in circles.
Oh, God.
So I never wore them after that. And before they put their new floor down, right, in the kitchen, before they put their new tiles down, you could just see trap marks in the same route I did to get to the kettle.
Hang on then. So college era, you were 16, 17?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
But this gets to my point. As a kid, that would have been awesome,
Yeah.
but I would have trashed them. But as an adult, I was like, dude, I got wheels in my shoes. Because now I see everywhere.
What,
Like,
Heelys?
if you go through, not
Oh.
like the ones I wore,
Oh,
but like the
right.
ones like you clip onto your shoes.
Yeah.
Or the ones where it's just in the back, so you just lift up your toe. And I see it in not Morrison's, at Asda all the time. I see it around our little shopping centre. It's always generally the teenagers, like 16 above. And I'm
Really?
like, yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, I must be blind because I haven't seen anything like that recently.
Honestly, it's
They're
weird.
everywhere.
And when
Coming
you
back
go into
into
Brum
fashion.
City Centre, you see. But this is my thing. As a kid, it's kind of like, oh wow, I got this. It's more of a thing. But now it's like a fashion accessory.
It's amazing.
But
I kind of want some.
But then, like, I look at them and I think, you knob.
Oh, yeah.
Except I was doing the same thing at their age, but I was cool because I had big good jeans.
Well, the thing is, you say the same things to adults on scooters, don't you?
Wow.
Ben's very against this adult scooter thing.
I did something about the whole scooter thing. Oh, I think it was a podcast where I was like, "We are all doomed" or something like
Yeah.
that. And I love the film, and I'm going to piss people off with the way I pronounce this, but I love the film Wall-E.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Wally.
Wally.
If we pronounce it properly, it's Wall.
What, we just don't take the
No,
put the
because
E on.
I'm putting very, I don't want to say that word, very silly logic to this. Beauty and the Beast name's Belle. It's spelled with an E at the end.
But it's French, isn't it?
Yeah, that's my point. So, Wall-E literally has a full stop
Wall.
after the second L, so it's Wall-E. Why the shit people keep saying Wally?
Because they're
I'm like,
Wallies.
I was going to say, yes, you are. But my point is, if you've watched that film, it's so horrendously political,
Yeah.
so horrendously accurate.
Yeah.
That Greta Thumbnailberg woman, she she probably orgasms to that bloody film because it portrays real life.
It does, yeah.
You know what I mean? At the very end of the film, the captain, his actual captain's coat is a cape because it can't fit in his arms. If you watch that film again,
Yeah.
watch. They have their bones have separated because they're too fat,
Yeah.
and they're being wheeled around. excuse me, on well, basically hover chairs.
Yeah.
And my point is, going to like the whole scooter thing, is it's lazy.
Yeah, it is lazy.
Like, I mean, I was little. I'm going back to when I was about 12, probably a little bit younger. I had an electric scooter,
Mm-hmm.
which mine was probably so uneconomical. It was ridiculous because like it was just like a micro scooter,
Yeah.
but under the what would you call it, like the base,
Yeah.
your footrest, there was two 12-volt batteries in it,
Oh, right, okay.
like what you'd get on a freaking motorbike.
Right.
And the biggest motor you've ever seen. And it was just the best thing in the world because me and my dad kind of tweaked it. So instead of going 10, I went 15 miles an hour.
Oh, my God.
So your handlebars are probably no wider than a mouse's leg.
Mm-hmm.
So you so much as sneeze and you're on the floor.
Yeah.
But the thing I don't like now is, as a kid, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think as an adult, I don't mind people on scooters. But if you want to get somewhere, you know what you can do. And I've said this in the last, in the We Were All Doomed episode. Get a normal manual scooter. Because not only do you get to where you need to be, you can fold it up and take it with you.
Yeah.
You have to pay an initial cost, and you get an exercise.
Yeah.
Granted, if you don't switch between regular and goofy, you are going to get a buff leg and a worn-out shoe. But my point, I think, is very valid. If you ride a scooter and you're an adult, you are officially a bellend.
He says this to everyone we see on the street.
Honestly, if I was allowed to run them down, I would have a new paint on my car. My car would be a new colour. I just don't get it because they just seem to forget everything. And the worst part is, right, I bet a lot of these people drive cars.
Yeah, probably.
Because a cyclist, right, if you're a driver, you're like a dick, get in your lane or something.
Yeah.
If you're a cyclist who
Yeah.
can drive and you get on your bike, suddenly you forget how to drive.
Yeah.
You forget that a car weighs a ton and you weigh nothing.
You forget the rules of the road, don't you? You think you're invincible on a bike, I think.
It's like, I'm not mocking the fact that the scooters are fast or anything, but please wear a helmet, put some high-vis on, shit, do some hand signals so I know where
Yeah.
you're going. But
They're
we go
illegal
in.
to go.
Huh?
They're illegal to go on the paths.
Yeah, isn't it something like...
Goes over a certain mile an hour or something.
I'm pretty sure if you're on a bicycle and you go over something like 23.5 miles an hour, it's illegal.
Wow.
Yeah,
On the road.
on the road.
Yeah.
But I just think our roads are not made for it. Like when we went Dublin,
Mm.
like granted, they're the only roads I've really seen to accommodate that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Even in London, they don't really accommodate it.
No.
Because there's too much. Where in Dublin, their bloody normal roads are huge.
Yeah.
But we're going off topic.
Yeah.
So let me move to my next one. Trading cards. Now, I'm not just talking about
Pokemon.
I'm not just talking about Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm talking about like football.
Yeah.
For you Americans, baseball. What else is there?
I've got to do it.
Everything, even down to the stickers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for me, I think one of the best moments. I've got a couple of moments here. When I won my first Pokemon game in school.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it was more Top Trump, but we'll get to Top Trumps in a minute. Because Sam brought me some of them, and they're wrong. But
They're amazing.
they're wrong.
They're wrong.
Very wrong.
They're wrong, but amazing.
But two of my favourite memories of trading cards was when I beat my cousin Samuel
Mm-hmm.
at playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I remember that, Samuel. At the end of your bed, you had like a complete deck, and I just had some starter kit, and I whooped your ass, boy. But it was when I asked him what rules he was playing,
Mm-hmm.
and it turns out he was just playing Top Trump rules.
Ah.
And there's me, I was playing it properly, and he had not a clue what I was doing.
You had researched it and everything.
Well, I
yeah.
played it before him, so I
Ah.
knew exactly what I was doing. And after that, he then got really good at it.
Ah, right.
I still won, and then I retired. But then my other favourite memory was going. Now, again, back in the day, in Birmingham,
Mm-hmm.
you had Pigeon Park, where all the emos and smelly people sit. There's a bar in there now, isn't there?
Yeah, something to do with Christmas though.
Stupidness. Stupid German market. And, but in Birmingham, you had the Oasis Market. Now, it's still going, I think, but back in the day, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
Because it didn't matter who you was, whatever you listened to, believed in, dressed like, you was welcome.
Yeah.
Until there was a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. Now, I, for some reason, ended up in Oasis Market, just eating a bag of I thought, next to Oasis Market, where CEX used to be under like the walkway.
Yeah.
There was like a baguette shop.
Yeah, I remember.
And I was coming home from college,
Mm-hmm.
and I went there to get food by Square Peg.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, what's going on here? Maybe there's a famous person. No, it was a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament.
Right.
So again, I just want to put... I'm 6'2".
Yeah.
At this point, I had kind of shaggy hair.
Yeah.
In my homemade shorts that I made from my bootcut jeans.
Which were put together with staples, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Staples.
Yeah.
They didn't rust as well because I painted them.
You had that for years.
Yeah, they were comfy. They had a perfect butt groove in it. But I went into Oasis Market, and I'm not lying. Have you ever watched Yu-Gi-Oh? That cough suggests no. Do I fuck? Wanker.
I watched it with... And my brother watched it, so I sort of like... It was on in the background type thing. I couldn't tell you a character's name or anything.
Wow. It's kind of like Beyblade. Like, the cards become alive and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you get these, like, card holders or duel masters, I think they're
Put
called.
them on their arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look like you're a transformer. It's awesome. So, like I said, I'm 6'2".
Mm-hmm.
The guy that had this thing was about 6'6".
Wow.
Like, he made me look tiny.
Yeah.
But he was equally as buff.
Right.
And, I mean, I was, about 18 at the time?
Mm-hmm.
So he must have been probably same age, maybe a couple of years older. So he's standing there in full cosplay
Wow.
as Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Was it Yu-Gi-Oh? I can't remember. But he was dressed as a character. And the commitment and dedication they have to that game is phenomenal. Like, the speed at which they play, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And I was watching it, and I was just like, this is amazing. You know, I'm having a look at the starter decks on the side. Like, I want to get back into this. And then I was speaking to some blokes, like, oh, what's happening? I was like, oh, he's like a local champion or something. I was like, wow. And like that, honestly, I had cameras and everything. Like, this is mental. And a fight broke out. Yeah. Honestly, a fight broke out because when he pulled out his card or something, he knocked another one and they accused him of cheating. I know. And like, I was just like, anyhow, he punches someone with that transformer.
I wouldn't want to go.
It's going to chip, or someone's going to have paint on them.
I wouldn't want to go after a 6'6" guy anyway if he's
especially with a robot arm.
Well, dressed up as whatever character.
And honestly, I think it was just a sheer environment.
Yeah.
And I think that's what kind of gives it a bad rep.
Yeah.
In that aspect, but at the same time, it's awesome. I find it awesome. But I think it's as kids, you play different rules, don't you? Like I said, me and Sam were playing what you would class as playground rules.
I was going to say, like, it's like going back to the training. So it's like Ted at the moment is so involved in Thomas Tank and stuff like that, and you know he might grow out of it, or he might turn it into a hobby. And it's the same with like the cards and stuff. It's what you get as a kid.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, cool, I've got these.
I mean, it is down to interest.
Yeah, and then as you get older, you're like, I'm getting into this.
Yeah.
I want, it's more of a hobby now.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's a hobby, but
is it acceptable?
Are there things you can do as a kid? Like, for instance, Ted grows up and he becomes a train mechanic or a train driver. That's obvious because he's love for trains. But if he grew up and started having a crazy collection of Iggle Piggle, you'd start questioning him. You'd be like, Ted, really?
Ted, you're 30, love.
If he starts walking in our house dressed as a Tom Lee Boom, I'm having words with him. Because they lose their pants. But you get my point.
Yeah, I get your point.
What are things that are acceptable? So, like I said, slot car is acceptable. Trading cards acceptable. I put this one because it makes me laugh because this is what you do.
Me?
Yes. It's to do with food.
Yummy.
I do love me smileys. You and your dinosaur shapes.
Amazing.
Your Bernard Matthew dinosaur things.
It's the fact that I don't eat any other shape but the
I
dinosaur.
mean, what is it, like turkey or something?
It's this, yeah.
We're
it's
not
the
even sure what meat it is.
I think it's turkey.
But basically, it's.
But that's a childhood memory, like you with your Twizzlers. I didn't really have them when I was younger.
Yeah, but they don't look childish. That just looks like some form of animal that's died and
Well,
been
yeah.
reincarnated into a twirl.
But like the memory of me going to Nan's after school.
Yeah, but
and eating
that's
the
thing. You've
dinosaur.
got the memory and like the whole nostalgia to it.
Plus, they taste amazing.
I beg to differ. But it's like me growing up. Mum used to buy these like turkey drummers,
Yeah.
and as a kid, I'd really want to eat them, but I'd have to be in the mood
Mhm.
because if I eat it now, I feel sick because I don't like them.
Yeah.
And it's like me with turkey Twizzlers; they don't taste the same.
No.
Obviously, Jamie Oliver ruined them for us back in the 2000s. Thank you, Jamie Oliver, you cunt. But like, if you went to a restaurant, it's like, what would you like? And someone's like, oh, I'll have the exotic crab salad. And you're like, can I have some dinosaur shapes?
You know what? If I went to a restaurant
had that.
and I saw that on the child's menu, I'd have it. I'd be like, I'm having one of them, mate, please. I'd pay a little bit more because I'm an adult and I'd have an extra one, but I'm having that dinosaur.
I think it's just one of them ones where it's. I mean, there shouldn't be a reason why you can't do things. I mean, hell, if you could go into the really, really twisted part of it, you got those people that like to dress up as babies and get taken care of.
Well, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Again, it goes back to being a hobby, but what's acceptable to me and you but isn't necessarily acceptable to other people,
Exactly.
and vice versa.
I mean, a lot of the stuff here is what I would say is acceptable. Like I said, I've done slot cars, trading games, foods.
Yeah.
I put gaming as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's some games. Like, I'd happily go back to my original Game Boy than play like the PlayStation or something because I guess that's what I grew up with. It's like my dad and my mum, to be fair, would never be able to play. Something like a Game Boy because it's just too much for them.
Yeah.
Whereas us, it's like it's easy.
Yeah.
And it was like
Oh, it amazes me with Ted at the moment because you give him a tablet, he knows the code for the tablet now. He's watched us do it 1,000 times. He knows the code for the tablet. He'll play on that tablet. Like, he will navigate it. He'll navigate my phone. He's 3 years old. What's he going to be like in 10 years' time?
But that's his generation, though, isn't it?
I know, like, when we were that age, we didn't have the phones, obviously.
One of my earliest memories of, of like electronics was in my reception, when I was in reception at school. And we had this, what can only be described as an electronical tumour on a wheelie desk, right? And it was this big grey cream monitor.
Oh, yeah.
With a mouse that, I'm not lying, you had to jump on to kind of achieve a click on it. If you moved it, it made an awful noise because that little ball in the bottom of it was dirty.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you could go for at least 5 hours sleeps before it did anything.
Yeah.
And the most we got to do was playing paint.
Yeah. It's just, like you said, it's a generation thing, isn't it? Because, like, you know, if you gave your Game Boy or something to your mom at that age, they probably wouldn't know as much how to use it as you would.
But have you seen that
Even
video
now?
on YouTube of that dad that gives his children a cassette tape?
I've not seen it, but I can imagine them.
Well, basically, it's like, this is what I used to use to listen to
Yeah.
music. It's like, have a look. Then the kid, like, if you ever seen a cassette tape, you're a legend.
Yeah.
But there's like little holes where when you put the cassette tape in the player, it basically holds it together
Yeah.
so it doesn't wobble. So the dad points out that the little strip, the film, the reel, is like, that's where the music is.
Yeah.
So his kid puts a headphone jack through the
hole.
gap. And he's like, I think I can hear it.
Oh.
And I was like, wow.
That's the thing, that it's alien to them. It's like if you'd show Ted, he probably wouldn't understand the thing what you're telling him.
Yeah. But again, this is just, I don't know, one point, he's not even, he's at his nan's today. But it's learnt behaviour with Ted. Like, I have a record player in our dining area where we're sitting now, and he knows how to set it.
Yeah, because he's watched it.
He knows how to put the needle on. He knows where to set it, what the volume is, what side to do, that sort of thing. But it's one of the ones. It's a generation thing.
Yeah, of course. It is.
And I think if you grew up with something, then I would say it's fine as an adult. For example, I love me some Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for the new film. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you a really cool example of this, because everyone's on TikTok now. And I follow, is it Jason Frank, the Green Ranger, Power Rangers?
Right.
And he's on there, and he does a lot of guest appearances. He does a lot of Comic-Cons.
Mm-hmm.
Comic, by the way, not commie. I don't know why everyone calls it Comic-Con.
Would you say Comic-Con's acceptable? Because they're dressing up as characters that, can be classed as kids' cartoons.
This is what I was going to get to with Jason Frank. Like, he also, I forgot the Transformer he voiced, but he voiced a Transformer. But, like, he still does the thing where, like, he'll go, it's morphing time, he'll get out his morphers and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, it's a nostalgia trip because he was my idol as a kid.
Yeah.
And I think with Comic-Con, I think it's finding a group of people that are like-minded like yourself.
Yeah.
I think there's nothing better than it. It's
Yeah,
like,
of course.
I've always found it really nice when you go to a gig
You found somebody.
and you find someone who's, like when we went to see Black Sabbath the first time, I made friends with that Welshman. And he was telling me how he saw Dio and it weren't fair. And then, like, when I've done gigs and I've jumped down, I'm just talking to people and you just bond.
Yeah.
And I think especially with Comic-Con, it's stuff that people grew up with.
Yeah.
Like, if I went, I'd probably dress up as a Power Ranger or something like, I don't know, Rick Grimes, because that's not, obviously, Walking Dead's not from when I was a kid, I was an adult.
Yeah.
But it's that interest, it's the love for it.
Yeah.
But I think if we get back to the original topic, it's like, are there any things that aren't acceptable?
I don't know.
Because if you really look at it, if you look at our generation, a lot of the people in our generation are wearing stuff what we used to wear. Like shirts with, I don't know, freaking
with the old
Care Bears on or something. Like
Yeah.
my mask, like my 19 mask, because I don't want to get done over with the whole,
Yeah. We know what we're
the
talking
world's
about.
disasters, but it's made from my old Power Rangers duvet cover.
Yeah.
I mean, can you think of anything?
Let me think. I suppose it's like going back to the night garden thing. Like, if it's childlike, like that type of baby child, and you're still
That's
into
a
it,
bit creepy.
it starts to get creepy when you get older. I mean, we watch it now because Ted's.
We watch it because of Ted.
Because of it.
We don't watch it because we enjoy it. We watch it because we're too damn tired to change the channel.
It's like we were sitting there this morning.
Yeah.
and Ted was upstairs just minding his own business for 5 seconds. We sat down on the sofa and we're like, why are we watching this programme full of children's...
But I love, and I'll hold my hands up, I love watching Shane the Chef. I absolutely love that show.
Yeah.
Because I do find it quite educational.
Yeah,
It's about
I like
cooking, and it has a lot of life lessons, I find.
Yeah.
But then all the bloody internet mums like, oh, Shane the Chef is shit, he can't even sing. I'm like, can you sing? Keyboard warrior, peace out, bitch. You know what I mean? It's one of them ones where I definitely agree, if you're still into
the baby
stuff, like, saying that, I'd happily walk around with a Teletubby top.
Well,
Teletubbies are awesome.
I'm not a fan of Teletubbies, if I'm honest.
What?
I'm really not. I never have.
Did you ever used to get those? Because I know you like colouring in.
Yeah.
Did you used to get like those big like A2 cards that had felt
the
outlines?
yeah.
When I went to, this is when Princess Diana died. Me and my family went to Wales for a holiday, and for some reason, two memories that jump out was a dog pissing up Dad's car and it breaking, and
the dog or the car.
The dog pissed up his car and then it wouldn't work. I don't know if it's related or what, but I had this massive card. I had two of them. I had a Tiger, and I had that for ages. Then I had a frigging Teletubby one.
Oh my gosh.
But they gave me the colours that weren't Teletubbies.
You got an orange Tinky Winky.
Wow, medication. But it's one of them ones where I suppose it gets to a borderline of creepiness, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like if you were really into the Teletubbies when you're 30, you're like, why?
But saying that, with children, they live that sort of stuff every day. Like, every day, it's Thomas to Ted.
Yeah.
But with us, we have our moments. Like, for instance, if I don't know, like if I want to go and do, excuse me, some of that slot car racing, I'll just set up in the garage or something.
Yeah.
I don't eat, sleep, and breathe it.
No,
And I
it's,
think that's maybe a borderline. Like, if you did it constantly, then, you know, okay.
yeah, I think like, I mean, even before Ted, we've put things like, I remember not being well one time, and I think Scooby Doo was on the telly. We
Fucking
both,
love Scooby-Doo.
and we both sat down and
Zombie
watched it.
Island.
Yeah.
Best one ever.
And we were like, there's no, we didn't have kids at the time, and we were like, well, it's nostalgia to us, but we wouldn't watch it constantly all the time, would we?
Yeah, but that's, for me, that's different. Like, if it's nostalgia, it's different because, again, it's that kind of once in a while.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was going to raise this one earlier, gaming YouTubers. Like, someone I watch now, he's absolutely legendary. Matt RPD, does a lot of Resi games. I grew up playing Resi games.
Yeah.
And he's gone on like this, is it a sabbatical? So basically,
Yes.
he's still got a job, but he's not working for 12 months and he's not getting paid.
Yeah.
Because he wants to pursue a career on Twitch.
Yeah.
And I remember when YouTube especially started to kick off and people like, what do I put as like my career? Like,
Yeah.
what's my job position? YouTuber.
Yeah.
And he was like,
Influencer.
yeah, exactly. I'm an influencer. So it's like, you just make videos. And you're like, well, yeah, you're a creator.
Yeah.
And it was like, there was a time where people frowned on that.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like...
The thing is, because it was such a new thing, like YouTube was such a new thing and people making careers out of it, nobody understood it at all. Like, I mean, so many times they turned up on, I don't know, Good Morning Britain or whatever, having an interview like, well, who are you and what are you? You know, and they explained it and they're like, well, that's just stupid. But it's reality TV for a lot of the
Well, there was a
people in
thing
there.
with, I think it was Lee Evans did the sketch once. And he was talking about becoming a full-time stand-up.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, what do I put in my job title? Stand-up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even now, people are still like, oh, especially with comedy, it's like, oh, you tell jokes.
Yeah, you're a comic.
And it's not really accepted.
No.
And like the guy I was on about, Matt RPD, he was saying, you know, can you imagine him sitting there in like 20 years and he's like 50 odd playing games? And in your head, even now, I'm kind of like, imagine sitting there at like almost 60 playing Resident Evil.
But I think when we get to that age, it will be acceptable because we have grown up with it. Why would we change that?
But not so much that, but I think that whole kind of concept of not necessarily playing games, but streaming will be way bigger than it ever is.
It'll be the new TV. That's what it will be.
I mean, I guess with this whole things you can do as a kid but not as an adult, I guess it is really down to, you know, first, is it legal?
Well, yeah. I think it goes down to the point of, you know, a child's interest turning into a hobby is more acceptable than a child's interest in a very childish thing.
All right then, I'm gonna throw one because you're on about interests and hobbies.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do dramatic pause here.
Go on then.
I'm even gonna put some echo on this.
Oh,
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
We've watched TV shows about what I'm about to say right now.
Oh God.
Let's get it really intense. I'm really close to the microphone.
Oh.
I'm breathing down the microphone. Lego.
Amazing. I want it. Love it.
Like, we have some Lego where I work with children and all that, and it is good.
Hang on. I've just emptied the washing machine. A complete side note, and there is a bit of Lego in the washing
I
machine.
think that's Batman's legs.
It is Batman's legs.
Yeah, it's Ted's.
Sorry, carry on.
But like, I always find Lego a funny one because it's very Minecrafty.
Yeah.
Now Minecraft is being used in like architecture now.
Is it?
Yeah, because you can use it to kind of obviously build in it.
Yeah.
If you've never heard of Minecraft, it's essentially a sandbox game where you can build. It's Lego but digital to me.
Virtual Lego in it, essentially.
Yeah. So it's with Lego. We watched it like the Lego Masters or something like that. And when you look at it and you think, you can get employed to play with Lego.
Amazing.
You
that
can
would be
get
my dream
employed
job.
to like come up with a new design.
Yeah.
Like when I was watching that Hornby thing, and that bloke, he designed, I think it was a Spitfire with the stand.
Yeah. The stand is the new bit that is.
So the Spitfire, it was still the same because why improve something that doesn't need it? But what this guy did, he not invented, but he created a new stand so it looked like a silhouette or a shadow of the plane from underneath.
Amazing.
And that was amazing.
Mhm.
But then, like, he's got to go around and, like, take pictures of different aeroplanes so they can build it, just like the other builders with their trains. And it's like, imagine growing up and telling someone, like, what did you do? My dad was a train builder.
Yeah.
Oh, what did he build? You know that issue number 53? Yeah, he
That's
built
amazing.
that one. Issue 53. The toy one. Yeah.
Yeah.
How weird does that sound?
Yeah, it just sounds weird.
You know what I mean? And that's what I think I was trying to get at with this. Like,
What's
not
weird?
necessarily what you can and can't do. Maybe that's a bad title, but how weird is it? Like, it just sounds alien.
Yeah, like I said, I think some things do sound alien to us and a bit weird to us, but you know, once you, like, if you turn around to me and went, "Oh, I design Lego kits for whatever," I'd be like, "You know what? That's pretty cool because I enjoy Lego. I think it's pretty cool." But if you turn around to somebody that wasn't interested in Lego, they'd be like, "Well, that's just weird."
Yeah, but the difference is you're open-minded.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
I find now is so many people are so easily led by the media and everything. Like, they can't think for themselves. So, like,
The fuel crisis. For
well,
one.
a topic I'm going to do in the next show, insulate Britain.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We won't get too much into it because I want to do that as a separate one.
Yeah.
Yes, Something Else podcast is getting political.
Dun dun dun.
Indeed. But it's like, I'm trying to keep an open mind to what they're doing. I don't agree with some stuff, but I do agree with other stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's down to the fact that the best way someone put it with the whole insulate thing is they're now making people hate their cause by
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens with people's thinking. Like, yeah, it's Lego.
Mhm.
It's a kid's toy.
Yeah.
But who designed it?
Yeah.
Adults.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For a reason. And then it was like, some people are like, oh, but it's a kid's toy. Like
Yeah.
with the model trains.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, for instance, my job role. I work
Yeah.
with children. I'm an early years practitioner. So by definition, I play all day.
yeah.
I don't.
He wishes.
Like, I don't even wish that.
No.
I mean, you've seen what we do in a daily
Yeah, yeah.
basis or on a daily basis. It's more than that.
Oh God, yeah.
You know, you've got
All sorts
the
of stuff.
nappies to do. You've got sicknesses to deal with, dietaries to deal with, planning and the curriculum and Ofsted and this and that.
Controlling those wild children.
You've got so much to do, but all people hear is what they want to hear.
Yeah.
They hear early years, they think play.
Yeah.
They hear Lego, they think children.
Yeah.
They hear YouTube, they think video. They don't see what people go through. Like, let's think of someone like, for instance, Mr. Beast. I don't like him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at first he was entertaining, but I just can't. Like, he's made a
Yeah.
good name for himself now.
Yeah, of course.
And he's doing this whole Squid Game thing now.
Oh God.
And it's, the money he can put into it is phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like, I bet when he started out, people just like, oh, you never get anywhere.
yeah,
The
it
man,
would've-
like PewDiePie, they're absolutely smashing it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's because they've put the time and effort in. But to all these arrogant people, they're just YouTubers. They're just people that film they're just vloggers.
I think a lot of it. I mean, it depends on who you're talking to. A lot of it is age, generation, age related.
Yeah, obviously.
Because like, if you turn around to, you know, like our parents and try to explain to them what a YouTuber did, they'll just be like, "What are you going on about? That's stupid."
Oh, definitely.
I do think it is a generation thing, but
I do find stuff like YouTube and Twitch is more acceptable or accepted than TikTok.
yeah.
Stuff like TikTok and what was it, Vine? That shit is crap.
Mm-hmm.
Like, pardon me, it's another topic I want to get into. But I find predominantly a lot of the stuff I see on TikTok is recycled material.
Yeah.
Because just everyone doing the same thing, doing the weird
The
dance
same
thing when they're
yeah.
popping their hands and pointing to answers and walking left and right, or doing that stupid thing when they freeze with a frying pan and walk into it.
Yeah.
And it's like, can you do nothing original? And
That's
the
the
people
thing.
that do original stuff don't get the credit for it.
Yeah.
And it just angers me. And I think just going back to what I was talking about, like, the stuff we did as a kid, we can do as an adult. But I suppose it is a very generation thing. Like, Ted's not going to grow up to do what we did because his generation didn't do that.
Yeah, but the thing is, when Ted gets to, his teenagers, and we'll be going, oh, we played on a Game Boy or something, it'd be like, gosh, Dad, gosh, Mom, stop talking, you're embarrassing me.
Yeah, but I suppose that's down to
and it's
the way they're grown up. Like,
yeah, but look, by that time, technology's going to advance that much that it's going to be, something ridiculous that Ted plays on.
oh yeah, obviously.
And if we turn around and give him an original Game Boy, he's going to go, but that's just crap. It's a block. It's a block.
But hopefully not, because I think that's the problem. Like with the way children are being raised now, there's
Yeah,
no appreciation or acknowledgement.
Yeah, that's just a very general.
Yeah, obviously.
thing.
Like I'm generalising, but it's like the one thing that annoys me is what's her name? What's her name? Greta Thunberg.
Yeah.
I always pronounce her name wrong. But that whole speech she did, she's like, "How dare you?
Mhm.
You took her childhood away." I'm like, "Well, you still living, you dumb shit."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yes, the world, we are killing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can stop that if we tried, but I suppose what I'm getting at is you have to live.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not saying
It's
stop
just-
what you're doing, because she's doing some good apart from nothing. She's doing great,
Mhm.
ranting and raving. But then, like I said, I think I've said it in a podcast, and I have forgot his name, but the guy that invented that massive net to clean up the ocean,
Yeah.
he gets fuck all credit.
Oh yeah.
But that stupid little girl,
Yeah.
because she does great speeches that get turned into metal songs, you want to hear it? It's
Oh my
brilliant.
god.
Like, she gets all the credit, and she's like, you took her childhood away. I'm like, mate, grow up in the 90s.
I
You
think
know what I mean?
Matt Madoff she's 18. Like she's not a child anymore.
No, but
Yeah, I know
my
what
point
you-
being
yeah.
is the fact that she's shouting about how people are taking this away,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's fair game. If
Mhm.
that's the road you want to go on, let's fix it for the next generation.
Yeah.
Like I do actively try to recycle. I try not to litter.
Yeah.
Something simple at work, like we have a food waste bin, so I do try and reduce that because I don't want it to go into landfills or do this or do
Yeah,
that.
of course.
And it's like I'm teaching the children about how we can. Is it the Grimwades?
Yeah.
I love that show. That is another show for children. I think it's brilliant because they teach how to recycle, how to reuse, repair,
Yeah.
refuse,
great.
that sort of thing, reduce, and it's brilliant.
Mhm.
But I think the problem is now, because of tech, because of how easily it is to manipulate people,
Yeah.
people just don't care. Like, there's a guy, what's his name? Adam Cope, I think he is.
Mhm.
He does a lot of, he's a psychologist, I believe, but he does a lot of studies and everything. And he went through, like, generally, like, not adult magazines as in porn, but like, OK and Hello, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And literally, if you, these aren't his statistics, this is just what I'm going to try and make like a really exaggerated example. But if you was to flick through them, he would say about 5% of the pages
Yeah.
are actual information and stories.
Oh yeah.
80% would be advertisements and shit,
Yeah.
and the other percentages would be, how to get the perfect bikini body, how to
Yeah.
get this, how to get that. 5 ways you can make your skin look better. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's constantly degrading you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like, why would you want to read something to say your body's not good for a bikini, or your skin's not tanned enough, or
That's right.
you've got too many blemishes?
Yeah.
And like the men's ones, it's always got like Hugh Jackman on front, like
Yeah.
looking ripped and sexy, and you think,
I think.
not everyone's made that way, so why do we want to be that way?
Yeah. It's giving the. To me, it's giving like with Ted and stuff. He will see all this stuff, but we have to be the ones to say that's not real. You have to understand. Like, let's go with Hugh Jackman on the front of Men's Health and stuff like
Yeah,
that. To get him to look like that, he will do a workout beforehand. So his
well, for
muscles are
Wolverine, he did the dehydration diet.
exactly. So like
Or whatever it is.
it'll be his diet, it'll be full on exercise, and then they'll take the photos. We have to teach the younger ones that whatever you see is not necessarily
True.
the truth.
You know what
Yeah.
it comes down to? Acceptance. Like
Yeah.
Comic-Con, it's one of the few places you can go where you can feel accepted for who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because so many people, like, I don't know, that like to dress up, so to speak, like, they get a few times a year to do it,
Yeah.
predominantly Halloween.
Yeah.
Or fancy dress parties. And I feel awful because it's like, why can't you be accepted? Like,
It's like when you see somebody walking down the street. That's like stereotypically, it's usually goth people, goth girls. They've got the makeup on and the dresses on, and they look they look amazing. But you get a lot of people going, "Oh my god, what are you wearing?"
Yeah,
but they're just trying to express themselves.
And that's what it's down to. It's expression, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like me with my Power Ranger mask, it's expression because I like the Power Rangers. It's like it's an enjoyment for me, and I suppose that's it goes down to like music, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like people, what I find is people are too quick to want to be accepted rather than accept who they are.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I mean that's a whole different kind of rabbit hole you can go down.
Yeah, of course. I mean
but
that's
I think
for events.
with stuff like this, I guess interest from when you were a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just what's wrong with liking Lion King? What's wrong with liking Dragon Ball?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with it.
No. But to somebody somewhere in the world, it's wrong.
You know why? Because the world's full of fucking snowflakes.
Certainly are.
They're all a bunch of sensitive bastards.
God help.
And
God help
I
the
just-
future. But yeah, I think it comes down to, hobbies that enjoyment that turns into hobbies. That's acceptable. When it gets, the only examples we can come back to is the Teletubbies. When you're 30 and you still want to dress like Lala or whatever her name is, it's getting on the border of line of being creepy and a bit weird. But again, it's the acceptance of it. Somebody's going to accept it.
But you know what it reminds me of? Like, obviously we've never lived through like the punk era, but with punks, like they dress in kind of how they want because that was their expression.
Yeah.
It was an outlet.
Yeah.
Like Teddy Boys, they dressed in a certain way, mods and rockers. And I think it's what happens all the time. If people don't understand it, they attack it.
Yeah. It's
what I
with
mean?
anything in life. If you don't, somebody's not going to like it, they're just going to go, nope, don't like that. I'm going to completely refuse it.
But you know what? I think that kind of rounds up this show, to be fair.
Yeah.
And in conclusion, I think we can say, if you're not a creepy bastard, carry on.
Yeah, it's fine.
And, if you want to wear your heelys and your bootcut jeans,
It's what Ben will be wearing tomorrow.
wearing your little kind of multicoloured stripy hat with an umbrella thing on it.
Oh my God.
Go for it. I don't care if you want to wear some little sharp mittens. I'm just thinking of things I had as a kid right now. But it is one of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose it just comes down to it's a generation thing, and you should not care what people think.
Yeah. Definitely.
As long as you are not hurting yourself and you're not hurting anyone else, of course, who cares about offence? Offence is just words. If it's not directly affecting you, then grow the fuck up.
Yeah, I think if you're not hurting yourself, not hurting anybody else, I think it's completely acceptable.
Yeah. So on that conclusion, I want you guys to think about things that you still enjoy as a kid, maybe as an adult even. Maybe it's a TV show, maybe it's a game you like playing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something you like wearing.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, I've been wearing this ring that's got a skull on it since year 11.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone thought I was some weird goth or something, but I wore it because it was my way. Because back when we was in school, people had those diversity and equality bands, which was black and white.
Yeah.
Because everyone loved them shag band things, didn't they? And everyone had a different colour.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to wear that because I don't like to fit in because I'm a hipster.
He's got a beard.
It's because I've got no hair. But I wore that because underneath our skin, we were all the same. That's why I wore that.
Yeah.
And I'll continue to wear it until it breaks.
That ring's never going to break.
It's stainless steel.
I know, that's why.
But yeah, excuse me. What I want you guys to do is just have a think. And then if you think of something, message me. It can be email, it can be through Instagram, Facebook. Yes, I'm doing a selfish plug right now. Not that kind. Different story on that one. But just, let me know what you guys think. So, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.